So, good evening, friends. Today I have the illustrations in network theorem. There are few illustrations which are very important, and these are based on the network theorems like Thevenin's, Norton, maximum power transfer, and reciprocity theorem, etc. So let us consider the first problem. The first problem is as the current voltage characteristics of the output terminals A and B, this point is A and this point is B, is same as that of a battery of EMF E0. The internal resistance R. Find E0 and R and short circuit current provided by the battery in the given figure. So let us take the solution from this Thevenin's theorem. The equivalent EMF is the potential across AB, the potential developed across AB when the output current is 0. That is open circuit. In the open circuit, the current is 0. So this E0 is equal to, this is VAB, and this VAB is nothing but current into resistance. This is the current into the resistance. So current, that is 15 volt divided by 24 plus 6 ohm, gives the value of current voltage upon resistance, and the current is multiplied with this 6 ohm gives the potential drop across the 6 ohm, which is V0 or VT as Thevenin's. So substituting this value, we find that the voltage is 3. So 3 volt potential, that is Thevenin's theorem. The internal resistance is the resistance when battery is short circuited. When battery is short circuited, then this circuit is equivalent to the given circuit. That is 24 ohm resistance and 6 ohm resistance are parallel to each other. And therefore, the equivalent resistance is 1 upon 24 plus 1 upon 6 is equal to 5 by 24. So R is equal to 24 by 5, that is 4.8 ohm. Then the short circuit current provided by the battery is I short circuited is equal to 3 volt divided by 4.8 ohm. So it is 0.625 ampere. So the answer is the VAB, that is Thevenin voltage, is 3 volt and short circuited current is 0.625 ampere. And on the basis of this short circuited circuit, we can draw the equivalent circuit as given in the case. Now the second problem is based on the concept that is after charging of the parallel plate capacitors, when they are discharging through a metal strip, then will the metal copper strip be melt? So these are the four capacitors C1, C. 4 capacitors are connected to this point, and these points are connected for charging. After discharging, the C and D points are connected to the metal strip, which is made of copper. The parameters are given. Resistance of a strip is, this is R. R is 4 ohm per meter. Mass concept of metal is 0.045 gram per meter. Specific heat Cu is 0.091 calorie per gram centigrade. Melting point of copper is, this is 1356 degree centigrade, and the room temperature is 25 degrees centigrade. So these are the parameters through which we have to find out whether the metal strip will melt after the discharging of the capacitors through the metal. Solution. The Thevenin's theorem states that the voltage across point A and B is VAB, that is 1 kilovolt divided by 4 kilo plus 5 kilo gives the current across the circuit, and multiply with 1 kilo will give the potential. So this is 1000 by 5, so it is 200 volt is the potential across A and B. The equivalent internal resistance is the resistance when the source 1 kilovolt is short circuited, and this internal equivalent resistance is 1 by 4 and 1 by 1 kilo. This is 1 kilo. These two resistances are parallel, and we have to sum. This one is the parallel resistance, and which give the equivalent resistance, that is the V 800 ohm is the equivalent resistance. Now short circuit current is VAB, voltage across A and B, and equivalent resistance in the circuit, that is 800. So this one is 1 by 4 ampere, that is 0.25 ampere. Now the four capacitors are connected. Four capacitors are connected in the parallel combination. So the total capacitor CT is equal to 4 times C, because in parallel combination, the CT is equal to C plus C plus C plus C. These are the parallel combination formula. So it is 4 into 1 microfarad, so it is 4 microfarad. Now, during charging, the capacitor stored the energy, and the stored energy E1 is 1 by 2 CV square. So 1 by 2 C is 4 into 10 to the power 6, and V is 800 volt whole square. So this value is 0.08 joule. So this much amount of energy is supplied to the metal strip during the discharging, and from this energy, the metal, whether it melt or not. So we have to find out the amount of energy that is required melting. So the energy is supplied to the metal, and with this energy supplied to the metal for melting, heat must be used for melting, otherwise it will remain same, that is unmelted. So the complete melting heat required is say Q, and this Q is mass into specific heat into temperature difference. So the total mass, that is mass gram per meter, is given, and the length of the strip is 5 millimeter. So the total mass is 0.045 gram per meter into 5 into 10 to the power minus 3, and this is 0.091 calorie gram per degree, and here it is 1356 minus 25. So the required energy for melting is 0.11 joule. So the required energy for melting of copper strip is 0.11 joule, which is greater than the energy supplied by the capacitor, that is 0.08 joule. Therefore, the copper strip remains same, it is unmelted. Means the supply heat is not 100% for the melt, but it is the 73% amount. So for the melting, more amount of the energy is required. So the metal strip will not be melt in this case. Now we see problem 3. Using Norton's theorem, calculate the current in the load IC in the given circuit. This circuit is given, and from this circuit we have to calculate the Norton current IN. So we, using the Thevenin's theorem, the voltage across the potential AB, this potential AB. So before this potential, if you are looking back, so you find these are the three resistances, 0.2, 0.6, and 0.8. So this is 1.6 and this is 2.4 volt. So these are the, this bracket give the current, multiply 0.8 ohm is the voltage. So the VAB voltage is 1.2 volt. The equivalent impedance, that is this 0.8 resistance is in series with all these resistances. So these 0.6 and 0.2 during short circuited, this 0.2 and 0.6 are in series, which is parallel to 0.8. So 1 by 0.8, 1 by 0.8 are the parallel combination. So it is 0.4 ohm, and this is 0.8 in the series. So 0.8 plus 0.4 is 1.24. This one is the equivalent resistance which is obtained. Now this equivalent resistance can be used to find out the current that is equivalent. This is IC and 1.2. So the current is 1.2 volt divided by 1.2 ohm. So the total current is 1 ampere. So this current is 1 ampere. The current through the load, this is the load, this current is flowing across it. So this is ISC into RL is the potential, and this potential drop is divided by these two resistances, that is 1.2 and 2 ohm. So this is 3 by 8 ampere. So the load current is 0.375 ampere, which is the Norton current as well. Now the Thenning's theorem, VTS, is equivalent. The equivalent circuit is the potential that we have calculated is 1.2 volt, and the equivalent resistance is 1.2 ohm. So the current is, this current is 1.2 divided by 1.2 plus 2, and this one is multiplied by 2 ohm. So VL that is VAB, and that is VTH. This can be represented by the same symbol, and this is 0.75. So the VL is 0.75, be the resistance in the circuit. Now the fourth problem is the problem which gives on the very concept of the resonance, and this problem is given as a source current, that is I0, this is I0 sine omega t, where I0 is constant, is connected to the circuit. The frequency omega is controllable. Controllable means it will change. It can be changed due to the devices, changing devices. The inductances, that is two inductances, are L1 and L2, and capacitances are C1 and C2, are lossless. Lossless means there is no loss through the devices. A lossless voltmeter means that will not be dissipated any energy that is considered. So the peak sine wave voltage is connected between the point A and B. The products L2 C2 is greater than L1 C1 are given. Then for the given circuit, find the approximate value of reading a voltmeter on the which omega is the very small but not zero. Means we have to find out the voltage when the frequency is low, and same as for high frequency, very large frequency, but it is not infinity, and sketch the qualitative, the entire curve of the voltmeter from this circuit. So let us consider the voltage. For a small omega, the current passing through the capacitor may be neglected, and it is as by the Thenning's theorem, VAB is I into ZL, and this ZL is J omega L1. This is ZL is J omega L1, and ZC is 1 upon J omega C1. So this I into J omega L1, where I is equal to I0 e raised to the power J omega t. As AC voltmeter normally read the root mean square value, that is Vrms is equal to VAB divided by under root, because the voltmeter which is based on the heating effect, and therefore it reads the root mean square value, and the root mean square value can be obtained by the dividing under root 2 of the given factors. So this one is the voltage that has been recorded during the low frequency. For high frequency or larger frequency, the current pass through the inductor and its equivalent circuit is shown. This is the equivalent circuit, and the voltage is the VAB is equal to I into JC. JC, that is JC is equal to 1 upon J omega C. So putting this value, that is I, this is the I or J upon JC1. JC1, so this one is JC is 1 upon J omega C1. So this one is minus J omega C1, and the RMS value, that is voltmeter, will read this VAB upon under root 2, again because of the root mean square value. So I upon under root 2 omega C1. So these are the two readings that has been recorded in the voltmeter, AC voltmeter, which is work on the basis of the heating effect. So the frequency omega for low is 1 upon L1 C1, and omega 2 is 1 upon L2 C2. Now these conditions are given. This condition is given. What this condition is? L2 C2 is greater than L1 C1. This implies 1 upon under root L1 L2 C2 is less than 1 upon L1 C1. So what we find? Omega 2, that is 1 upon under root L2 C2, is less than omega 1, which is equal to 1 upon under root L1 C1. So this omega 1 and omega 2, these are the two frequencies. So if we have to set, these are the omega 2, and here it is omega 1. Omega 2 is less than omega 1. So the system is net inductive when omega is in between 0 to omega 2, low frequency region. Net system is inductive. And net capacitive system is net capacitive circuit when omega 1 to infinity in this region. So the circuit, the system we have like net inductive in the range 0 to omega 2, and as a net capacitive circuit from omega 1 to infinity. The resonance occur at the characteristics as the angular frequency omega 1 and omega 2. So these are the standard characteristics of the resonance. That is, at this particular point, the amplitude is very high, and after deviation of this frequency, the amplitudes are decreasing in this way. So these are the sketch of the circuit when the case is. So this one is an important case because we have to discuss in this case as the resonance in the two circuits. And we can also calculate in this case is the quality factor of the circuit. But the quality factor, I need not have to do these things, but if we have to find out the quality factor in these two cases. So Q1 and Q2 with the quality factor, ZX upon ZL upon X and ZC upon X gives the quality factor of the given circuits. But things are not given here, and that's why it is not required. But if it is given, then it must be required in some other cases. Now, the problem 5, you see, draw the Thevenin's voltage equivalent circuit and Norton's current equivalent circuit of the given network. Calculate the parameters of the theorem. Here it is E. The source is 100 sine omega t plus pi by 4. So F is 50 hertz. At 50 hertz, this EMF is given, AC source, and this source is connected with 10 millihenry, and this is 50 microfarad, and this one is I current Z1. This is 10 millihenry Z2, and this is the 50 ohm. Solution. The Thevenin's voltage in the circuit is expressed as VAB is E upon Z1 plus Z3 into Z3. This is Z3. So E is 100 sine omega t plus pi by 4. And Z1, Z2 are the impedances multiply Z3. So this one is Z3 that has been cancelled. So 100 sine omega t plus pi by 4. That is 1 plus Z1 by Z3. So Z1 is Z omega L. That is Z omega is 2 pi F. F is 50 into the value. And that value is L. L is 10 millihenry. So 10 into 10 to the power minus 3. Z3 is 50 microfarad. So it is 50, omega 2 pi F into C, 50 into 10 to the power minus 6. So this one is point, this one is the Z3 and here it is Z1. So we have to consider Z1 by Z3. So Z1 by Z3 after solving we'll get this value is 4.049. So substituting this value 0.049, we have this one is, this value is Z square and this Z square will be cancelled. So giving the minus 1 minus 0.049 is nothing but it is 0.951. 0.951. So 100 sine omega t plus pi by 4 divided by 0.951. So it is 105.15 sine omega t plus pi by 4. So this is the Thevenin's voltage. So on the basis of this Thevenin voltage, we can also calculate the equivalent impedance. And this equivalent impedance can be calculated as ZTH is Z2 is parallel combination of Z1, Z3 because the source is short circuited. So these two are the parallel combination. And then it is pi j, Z2 is pi j plus pi j, pi into j. This is minus j 0.005 pi and it is pi j minus 1 minus j 0.005 pi, 0.055. So Z is pi j plus 1.0 pi j. Pi j and 1.0 pi is 2.0 pi j. And this is 2.0 into 3.140, that is 6.437 j. Now the load current, so this one is impedance and the voltage is ETH. So the IL load current is, load is 50 ohm. So we can have 105.15 sine omega t plus pi. This one is the Thevenin's voltage and load is 50 plus 6.437 J. Now, if we find the value, so we have to multiply. We have to find out mod of this set. Mod of this value is 50 plus 50 whole square plus 6.437 whole square. And this whole bracket is 1/2 into sine inverse 6.437 upon 50. So this tan theta is equal to tan inverse ZTS upon ZL. So IL is equal to this much, 2.085 sine omega t plus 37.67 degree. So this tan and this phi angle will be solved, and after the solving this angle we'll get this one value. And on the basis of the value we can have the equivalent circuit. The Norton's equivalent circuit is as shown. Norton current is given IN is ETH upon ZTH. ETH is 105.25 sine omega t plus 45 degree divided by 6.437 J. So solving this, we have get this one is IN is equal to minus 1 16.335 J sine omega t plus 45. So the equivalent circuit is IN and this Z is 6.437 J. So this is the Zn, that is Norton's impedances. Now there are two short problems, that is problem 5 and problem 6. That is, you can say this is problem 6 and this one is a problem 7. This is the problem 7. This is the problem 7. So problem 6 is, this is 50 sine 30. This 50 sine 30 means omega is, theta is 30. So this AC circuit is connected with this 2J, 6J, 8J. These are the two type of the impedances, inductor and resistance. So Thevenin's voltage VTH can be obtained. VTH is V upon Z1, Z2, Z1, Z2, 8 plus 6, and then divided by this impedance, and this multiply with this 8J. 8J is the Z1. So the VAB is equal to this value, and on solving this one is 320 plus 240 J angle 30. So this value is there. Now, if we have, we can eliminate this part also if you don't feel like this. So this is this, now this is the simplest circuit. Now the circuit is more simpler, and it is 6 omega. This is 6 omega. In this case also, we can remove this one. No, it's okay. It's okay. So problem 7, this one is 16 theta with the angle I current, and 25, 30 J, and this is 50 and this 15. So equivalent circuit of this are the current through this Norton current. So Norton current of the given circuit is IN. IN is 16. This angle theta is the source. This is the current source. You can call this is current source. And this current is flowing through 25, 30, and 15. So 25, 30 J and 15. So this is 40 plus 30 J. And solving this value, we'll get this one is 16 plus this one is. So if we consider the magnitude part of the one, then you take this is complex conjugate of 40 plus 30 J. So this is 40 minus 30 J. Multiply over there 40 minus 30 J. And on solving this, we'll get this one is. So in this way, in this network type of the problem, we have 7 problems, and these 7 problems are very important regarding the examination and all. So in this workshop and in this course, faculty development course, I have compiled these 7 problems. That is the second lecture of this part 2, which gives the insight of the network theorems. So this is all about the today lecture. Thank you.